Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live stream. I know I've been putting this live stream on since last week, but I promise you, I wanted to make sure that I'm feeling my best and that I'm able to give you a great live stream. So, if you're just joining, do me a favor and share the live stream with 2 to 3 people you know, like, and love. Uh, and then get ready to get out your book and take notes. So if you're struggling closing deals or talking to people or just negotiating, I'm going to dive into some tips that are very practical but very effective. Sales shouldn't be complicated. It should be streamlined. It should be simplified to the simplest form. While we're waiting on some people, because a lot of people don't know we're scheduled to go live tonight because I kept moving the time around. But while we're waiting on some people to jump on, do me a favor and let me know where you're watching from. Should be a few more people jump on. A lot of the people like to watch the replays, which is perfectly fine. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, tomorrow, 8:05, you're invited to our free masterclass where we're going to be talking about how to close your first real estate deal in the next 90 days. Free of charge. The link is somewhere on my Instagram. If not, DM me on Instagram and I got you. Like I said, today's topic is negotiating tactics that seals the deal. I want you to become a master negotiator. Most people fail at business because they don't know how to negotiate and communicate with the prospect. And we're going to be talking in deep about how to do this and how to set this up. So first and foremost, I was on a training today with one of my VIP clients, and I had like a aha moment. I was talking to some VAs that we previously trained, and they didn't know exactly what the client did, or at least that's what they told me. And once I figured that out, we went straight into role playing. So the importance of role playing in your business, I think if you're not closing deals consistently every week or making sales, you should be role playing every day. 20 minutes a day, just going over your script and just pretending that we talk to prospects. You can get someone else that you work with. You can find somebody. You can just go in the Facebook groups and say, hey, anybody want to role play with me? Earn shopping's earn. So that's the most important thing to do is the role play so you can be perfect on a sales call when you're talking to people. So I was talking to them and we was going over their script and there was a lot of uncertainty. So you got to be confident and comfortable in talking to people with certainty and negotiating, right? You got to be very direct and you have to listen. And then you got to know how to match people with certain solutions. So in real estate, when you're talking to a seller, the first thing you want to come to the realization is, why are they interested in even speaking with me? Why are they interested in even hearing my offer? Who have they talked to in the last few months about this? I know I'm not the only person that's communicating with them. So once you accept the fact that you may not be the only person that they communicated with about them possibly wanting to sell their house, you'll be far ahead. Because if you think, oh, I'm the only person talking to them, I got time, everything's good. And if you're being nonchalant about people's situation, you're not going to do many deals, right? So first thing first, take off the nonchalant attitude and focus on making sure that you are attentive with your prospects and you are actively listening. So the number one tip is to get a composition binder and listen to exactly what the prospect is telling you and take great notes so you can reinforce that on the back end of the call. So what I mean by that, if you're calling a homeowner and they're interested in a cash offer, your number one job is to diagnose the situation and to see if you can help, right? So I call this my triage formula, where if you ever went into like the emergency room or the minute clinic or the ER, the first thing they do is before they allow you to see the closer, aka the doctor, they're going to you're going to talk to a nurse about your symptoms and what you got going on. That same person is your cold caller, right? Hey, tell me about your house. How long you been thinking to sell it? Have you made any major repairs? If we get your offer today that makes sense, how quickly would you want to move forward? So they're diagnosing that person and giving them the symptoms to the closer, which is you, aka the doctor, to come in to make a full assessment, right? And then once you make that assessment, then you make the customary diagnosis or the offer or the solution. Meaning that if you're talking to a homeowner that has no equity in their house, but they lost a lot of income since they purchased the house, that homeowner may qualify for a short sale. So you may go down the path to say, hey, Mr. Seller, based on everything you told me today, this is what I think that's the best situation possible for you. We write your offer at blah, 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 and we're going to go to the bank to see if they're willing to take this. Even though you owe substantially more than that on your house, they have a thing called short sale where the bank will agree to take less as long as we can prove that you're in financial hardship. Now, as the negotiator, you have to understand all of the rules to the game. So you got to ask them, are you in financial hardship? Do you not make any money? If I look at your bank account statements, is there any other funds that's not accounted for that you're collecting? Do you have a side hustle? Do you have a second gig? Are you a 1099 employee somewhere? They're going to look at all of this stuff and determine if you meet the short sale qualification. Because most banks, they have to, if they underwrite this loan with an FHA loan or conventional loan, there's certain nets that they have to make. Usually they want to net at least 85% of the appraised value. So you got to understand the difference between the appraised value of the house and the ARV. The appraised value meaning what the house is worth in its as-is current condition. So once you understand the repairs and things needed on the house, then you can make an offer based on the appraised value. Why is that so important? Because you want to make sure that your offers stick and that you're actually getting deals across the finish line. Also, when you're looking to make an offer, look and see what is the most important things to them. Sometimes cash is the least important thing to a prospect when making an offer, right? I'm not saying that they don't care about the cash, but it's the least and most important or prioritized thing that they have. Maybe it's the fact that they have 10 cats, they're a hoarder, and they have to downsize and move to an apartment, and most apartments won't accept 10 cats. So maybe you have to go out and call around to some landlords and say, are you pet friendly? Do you allow this person to have 10 cats? And there have been times in my business where we had to literally become a tenant placement service to get our deal across the finish line. There have been times in our business where we had to literally get 15, 16 signatures from different heirs who has equitable interest in the property because their mom and dad died and left, and they're next in line to receive the property. So understanding everything as you're negotiating to make sure that you bring a good solution to their problems is going to be number one. Also, as a salesperson, you got to understand that my job is to solve the prospect's problems. So the further you can get into what they're going through, what problems they have. Oh, it's a military family who bought a house 4 years ago. They paid retail for it. There's no equity left, and they're looking to just get rid of it. They don't care how to get rid of it. They just want to get rid of it. Maybe it's a brand new construction. Maybe you can offer some type of creative finance or some type of lease option, some type of option to buy. There's so many different strategies that you can do in order to get a deal across the finish line. But you first got to figure out what their immediate issues are that they want alleviated right then and there in order for them to be satisfied, right? Because if I have a $400,000 house and I owe $390,000 on it, and it's practically brand new, was built in 2021 or 2022 or 2023, if I decide to take that house to the market, I probably won't have to bring a $20,000 check to closing because I have to pay the relative commission at 6%. I have to pay the closing costs, right? And I probably have to give the buyer some type of subsidies. So once you understand that, you can use that in your negotiation skills to say, hey, Mr. Seller, if you go the MLS route, this is what's going to happen. You have to be prepared to stroke a $20,000 check based on your situation. This other route that I can provide for you, I'm actually going to give you $5 or $10,000 to put in your pocket, and then I'm going to take over your payments, right? So obviously you want to master and understand these different negotiating concepts to add to your tool belt. Remember, sales is like being Batman. And Batman has different tools on his tool belt, and use them based on the situation with the prospect, right? If you're talking to a person whose only concern is to save their credit, maybe they haven't paid their mortgage in a while, or they just stopped paying their mortgage a month ago, and the 30-day late payment haven't showed up yet on their credit, you may offer to say, hey, listen, I pay this month and next month payment in exchange for a lease option that you can turn into an Airbnb, or you can turn into a short-term rental, you could turn into some type of group home, or a shared room housing. There's so many strategies that you can use to make sure that you negotiate a good deal, but a good deal solves the seller's immediate problem, take care of the company, and put them in good financial position, and everybody get what they needed and wanted from the transaction. A bad deal is a person may be in a desperate situation and they willing to say yes to anything to get out of it, and then once a year or two go past and they realize that it was a bad deal, they can renege and say, you stole my house, you took my house, you still owe me money. Or if they go to the car dealership and that mortgage is still in their name and you making the payments on their behalf, and the car dealership like, hey, we can't give you this Escalade. Your debt to income is too high. You still have this house in your name. They're like, what do you mean? I sold the house 2 years ago. No, you still have this house in your name. Then they can give you a call and say, listen, I don't care about what we agreed to 2 years ago. I need you to take this out of my name because it's inconveniencing me. Remember, people only care about what you didn't do for them, right? Meaning that you could have put 20 grand in that person's property, you could have rented them a U-Haul, you could have hired a fleet of movers, and they would literally turn their back on you and stab you in the back because now they're going through some inconvenience because they can't get an Escalade from the car dealership. So as a negotiator, you have to figure out what buckets do I put my sellers in, right? And how do I negotiate? How do I make an offer that makes sense to them? Because if they're already talking to wholesalers, they already got lowball offers. If they're already talking to wholesalers, somebody already offered them subject to. What's going to make you different? Figuring out what their problems are. That's what's going to make you different. Figuring out how can I serve you, how can I support you right now in a time of need, without even saying that. It's just showing them, right? And once you understand that, the offer is going to come easy. Meaning that you have to be a problem solver. And if you're not ready to be a problem solver, you're going to have a hard time getting deals on the contract because everybody's going to say no to your offers. Because your offers are what we call surface level offers. They're just scratching the surface and they're not solving the actual pain points that the sellers had, right? So remember, when you get on the call, introduce yourself. Hey, like I do some role play with you. So when we call sellers, and the VA already talked to the sellers and set the expectation that someone from the office is going to call them, what we like to say is, hey, Jasmine, how you doing today? This is Antoine Campbell giving you a call. You talked to my partner, John, the other day, and he said you was interested in receiving an offer on your property. Does that still stand? Okay. Once they say yes, hey man, how you doing today? How was your weekend? So here's a way that you can easily build rapport with somebody. This doesn't apply to real estate. This is in business and sales completely. We teach universal sales training, so it can be in any business. So if you want to get a conversation going, if it's on a Monday or Tuesday, you can build rapport these 3 easy ways. If it's the beginning of the week, how was your weekend? If it's at the middle of the week, like a Wednesday, and if it's on a Wednesday, maybe Thursday too, you can get away with it. How's your week going? How's your week treating you? If it's a Friday towards the end of the week, what you got planned for the weekend? Start with that first. Go through a few questions. If you say, how was my weekend? My weekend was pretty great, man. I took the kids to go see Garfield movie. Everything was good and chill. Then we went out to Red Roberts and ate a few burgers. Life is great. Oh man, listen, I took my kids a few weeks ago to see Garfield movie. That's a funny movie. They got this new movie, Twisted, coming out. It's about tornadoes. I can't wait to go take my oldest son to see that. He's really infatuated with like wildlife, nature type stuff. And then, okay, the reason why my call, because like I told you, I'm calling to give you an offer. But I just want to ask you a few questions. It's now a good time to ask these questions. Remember, you always want to ask for permission before you move to the next level of what you're trying to accomplish. You want to make sure you respect people and show people that I respect you. So when I'm on the phone with anybody, with any business I'm working in, I say, did I catch you at a bad time? Listen, we listen for the signs of inconvenience. If a person sounds occupied, if there's people in the background, if they're driving and you hear wind blowing and you hear the window cracking and it just sounds like they're on I-95, if they're saying, okay, but you don't feel like they're digesting information, ask them, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? Would you like to would you like for me to call you back later on? Right? But then when you say call you back later on, get a commitment. Most of you guys are suffering because you're not seeking a commitment, a time commitment. So instead of just saying, let me call you back later on, you may say, hey, what time later on between 3 and 5 are you available? And lock them down for a time, right? And then once they agree to call back, then you send them a friendly text after you hang up and say, hey, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I look forward to our call today at 4:30 to discuss the offer that I'm going to present to you for your house. That's that. You want to be at the top of people's minds. After you ask for permission, then you want to get into some questions to determine the condition of the property, right? One of my favorite ways to figure that out is to reverse it. And instead of just saying, hey, what's wrong with the house? Of course, most people are going to say nothing's wrong with the house. Because if there was something wrong with the house, why would I be living there, right? Even if people live in a dump, they may think there's nothing wrong with living in a dump. I know people that live in terrible situations, and they don't think there's nothing wrong with that. We all have different standards of living, I guess. So what you can say is, hey, listen, if I given you a blank check and there was a few things you can fix on the house, what would that be? And pause. And let them explain to you, oh man, I fixed the bathroom, I fixed the bedroom, I fixed the roof. Why would you fix the roof? Oh, it's been leaking for the last 6 months. They're telling you exactly what it is that's wrong with the house and what's going on with the house and what needs to be done. And you should be taking notes and saying, okay, this house needs a bathroom, it needs a roof, it needs this, it needs that. And then as you go to, well, how much are you looking to get for that house, right? Always figure out what the price is. Don't just throw a number out there and say, this is what we can give you, because sometimes that don't work or don't stick. Always try to see what they're thinking about getting for the house. Hey, how much do you think that you can get for your house in its current condition right now? Oh man, I'm looking to get $300,000. Then let them justify it. $300,000, okay, great. Where you get that number from? Like, what make you lean more towards $300,000? Then you educate them on why the house is worth $300,000 or why the house isn't worth $300,000, and you use facts. Well, based on the current condition of your house, I don't think it's worth $300,000, Mr. Seller. Your house needs a lot of work based on what we talked about earlier. And houses that actually going for $300,000 is new construction houses down the street. Now you probably can get $300,000 if you're willing to go into your bank account and take about $75,000 and completely renovate your house from head to toe. Is that something you can do, Mr. Seller? If they say no, then you move on into your script and say, okay, great. Well, we're going to give you what we call an as-is offer. Well, we're based on our offer based on the current right now condition, right? The house could be worth $300,000 fixed up, but neither me or you are making that effort to fix the house up to get it to that point. So we got to buy based on right now and educate them. The best thing you can do to your prospects is educate them on why things are the way they are, right? And if they be, oh no, I'm stuck on $300,000, or no, my house is worth more than that, you're trying to lowball me, say, Mr. Seller, I will never lowball you. What I want to do is give you the maximum amount of money possible without you having to come out your pocket, fix anything on your property. Now, when it comes to as is, we buy based on as is condition. We don't buy on speculation or what we think Zillow say. We buy on what we know for a fact the house is worth today. Now, then you can reverse it and say, hey, Mr. Seller, let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you were buying something that you know that was worth this price and someone to say, based on how I feel and my emotions, I'm going to sell it to you for even more? How would that make you feel? And put them in your shoes, right? And sometimes you could jump in the seller's shoes too and see how they feel. And that's going to help you out a whole lot, right? And once you get to that point and you negotiating and you agree upon a price, you want to set the expectation that this offer is for today. Let's get this in writing. So what I like to do is I like to tell people, stay away from saying the words contract. We like to use soft, mellow, mushy words. So I like to use the word paperwork and agreement. Hey, listen, I'm going to write all this up and put it in an agreement so that we can look at it and get it filled out. You notice I stayed away from the word sign. I don't like words that's big commitments because it makes people think, oh, okay, what am I getting myself into? But if you say, hey, I'm going to write up this agreement and so we can look at it together and we can fill it out, that's a lot better than saying, hey, I'm going to type up this contract so you can sign it. People are going to be like, nah, let me talk to my lawyer. Let me talk to my son. Let me talk to my brother. Like, they're going to want to seek some advice because of they feel like it's starting to become complex. Also, making sure, another thing in negotiating is not using a really long contract. I see people, a lot of newbies using like 10-page border relative contracts, 8-page subject to contracts, and all this different verbiage and jargon. You want a simple 1 or 2-page agreement that basically shows what the purchase price is, when it's the closing date, how much earnest money, and making sure that all of the contingencies are covered, like inspection clause. So maybe you want to do like a 2-week due diligence or just an inspection period. You can put that in there. All that can fit into 1 or 2 pages. But when a person sees an 8, 9, 10-page contract, you're delaying the decision making. But if I can show you something simple that, oh, I'm getting $300,000 for my house, we're going to close in 3 weeks at this title company, and I'll need 2 weeks to verify and do my due diligence. It's going to be a no-brainer. Yeah, I can sign this. But when you start to like a border realtor contract, listen, I sold so many houses. I'm here telling you, the border realtor contract, the only thing concerning the seller and the buyer on a border realtor contract is the first page, maybe the second page. The other 8, 12 pages is protecting the realtor commission, the broker, and the realtor, right? And the MLS and all them people. It's all verbiage is protecting them and disclosures. It had nothing to do with you and the seller. So get rid of that stuff and just use a straight private contract that's very simple, that has basic verbiage that a 6th grader can read it, a 7th grader can read it. You don't want to use all these big, MIT language jargons, because what happens is you're delaying the process and making a decision. You want people to make decisive decisions as quickly as possible when you're selling and you're trying to get a deal done. And that's one thing that complicates things, is when you have a long, lengthy contract. I know it looks good. I know it looks sexy. I know it makes you feel smart, but shorten up that contract. And then don't send a contract until you get a verbal commitment that they're ready to move forward today. I withhold contracts and agreements and invoices. This model works in any business. This is universal teaching. I don't send a client an invoice until they're ready to make a commitment. And the only commitment that's a good commitment is a signed contract if you're doing like real estate deals, or if you're selling something, a paid invoice. They're the only 2 forms of commitment that makes a person ready to move forward with you, right? So if a person like, yeah, send me an email. And when somebody says send me an email what you talked about, basically, that's a stalling tactic. After talking to 1,000 people since the last 8-9 years, I realized people have built-in stall tactics, and you have to overcome the stall tactics to say, listen, everything we discussed today will be the same thing as the email. When I'm ready to send something to you, it's going to be something far as a commitment. You're not going to say this outright, but the mindset is going to be, when I'm ready to send something to you, it's something that's going to be a commitment. It's going to be an agreement for you to sign or invoice for you to pay, right? I'm not sending you an email on something that we go even our website is written to the point that we're sending them back to the website instead of sending an email. Hey, listen, everything that we talked about today is on our website. Now, if you want to read it and go over it, I'll be more than happy to send you the link to our website. But we're not sending those lengthy emails to draw out this process for another week or two because they're not able to tell you yes or no. You want to even get a yes or no. You don't want no maybes, because maybes is the worst thing. Maybes clog up your pipeline and it have people wasting your time, right? So if a person want to sell their house, yes, I want to sell my house. I just need a few weeks, or I need a few months, or I'm waiting till the summertime is over because I have a pool in my backyard and I'm watching my grandchildren and I want them to enjoy their summer at my house before I relocate. Okay, great. Well, how about this? I keep in touch with you once a month, and then mid-September, I give you a call so we can move forward with everything. That's an okay commitment because they express to you why they can't make the commitment now. But if they're saying, hey, let me think about it, send me the contract, and I'll think about it, no, don't do that. Send me the invoice, and I'll think about it. No, don't do that. When you're ready to send a contract or invoice, they're ready to pay. They're ready to sign. It's a commitment. Without a commitment, there is no deal. What I say, without a commitment, there is no deal. Brandy said, what should one do to ensure everybody is covered in a condensed contract agreement? So the one thing you can do, if there's something specifically concerning a situation that's not covered in a contract agreement, you can use an addendum and you can attach that them paragraphs or that whatever you're trying to cover in that addendum. Maybe it goes over there's an extra piece of land that's tied to the property and the seller don't want that land to be included in the sale. They want that land to be deeded back to them. That will be written in the addendum. Hey, we're buying parcel number 1234 with seats, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The parcel beside it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, will be retained to the seller and it will be redeeded in their name, vice versa. So an addendum would be an awesome way to attach additional terms and conditions and concerns into the agreement to ensure that the contract is protecting everyone. Now, like I said, I don't want to put a lot of stuff into a contract that don't pertain to sellers because what that does is it scare away people. Oh, what is this talking about? What is this paragraph talking about? What do you mean subject to? Like, I don't put subject to verbiage in my contracts if I'm not talking to a subject to lead. So being very specific and very detailed in your contract and condensing it to the simplest form will get you higher conversions. Hopefully that answered your question. If it did, just say yes or no. If not, I try to go into details. But yeah, verbiage is important. You got to word things. And so like if you need time to find a buyer, your verbiage may say, hey, we want an extra 2 weeks on this contract to identify our funding partner. Our funding partner just in disguise means our buyer that we're going to sell this deal to, right? Or our buyer that we're going to do business with that's going to put up the money to do this deal, right? So that's one of the things. Another question that I get asked sometimes is, how do you disclose how you're getting paid in a transaction? And we simply just be transparent with the sellers. Hey, Mr. Seller, I work with a group of investors. We present these deals to our investors on a first come, first served basis. Sometimes certain investors don't want us a part of the deal where they don't want us doing it. They just outright pay us a fee to buy us out. So that has nothing to do with the money that I'm offering you, but you may see that fee show up on our HUD statement, and that's just how I get paid to keep everything squeaky clean. Is that going to be an issue for you, Mr. Seller? They say yes or no. If they say no, okay, great. Now, when they see this $20,000, $30,000 fee show up on the HUD statement and they have questions about it, then I can bring up that conversation. Mr. Seller, do you remember about 2 weeks ago when I told you about my buyout fee that sometimes my partner paid me if they exercise their right to not allow me to participate in the deal? Yes, I do remember. Well, that's that fee. We time has come upon us where that fee has taken place. And like I promise you, as you look at the HUD statement, all of the money I promise you and guarantee you is still exactly the same. That's how you handle it. So you got to be prepared for different objections with quality rebuttals. So as you get more experience, you're going to get a lot of different questions, and you should have these rebuttals memorized to the point that sorry about that. My internet went out. It's 9 o'clock, so the internet reboots at 9. I don't know why. But anyway, you don't want to be the guy that's reading off a piece of paper and sound like a robot. You want to get your rebuttals and all of the different things down packed to the point that it comes second nature to you. And that's why role playing is so essential in sales. When you understand the art of role playing, you do it every consistently day, you're going to get better and better. It's like an NBA team. Imagine if an NBA team just stopped practicing and they just show up every day and play. They're going to be horrible, right? They're going to be terrible. They're going to be trash. But if they practice every day at the game and study film and get better and know where they're supposed to be and know their positions and know their spots on the floor, they're going to do things effortlessly. They're going to do things flawlessly, and they're going to execute to the highest level. So that's the same thing in sales and negotiating. You got to know your place. You got to know when you're supposed to say things and how you're supposed to say things to these sellers and these potential customers, because at the end of the day, it's all about negotiating. And if you're struggling with converting leads, then you got to ask yourself, what is my approach? How do I talk to people? How do I show people value in working with me and why they should be working with me? And if you're not providing value and giving resources to the people that could potentially be working with you, you're not going to convert a lot of people into prospects or paid prospects or signed contracts or whatever the case may be in your situation. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop your questions. Like I said, tomorrow at 8:05 EST, we're having a free training. The training is going over how to do your first deal in 90 days. We're going to give you an entire blueprint and framework. It's free of charge. I'm not charging anything. Just sign up for that ASAP. We also are releasing a brand new program that's going to replace the Business in a Box program. It's going to be called the Black Card program. And it's literally the Business in a Box on steroids. I will get into that in details maybe Wednesday or Thursday and show you and tell you exactly what it is that you're going to get with the program. But it's going to be very hands-on. From my observations, we have great systems and processes, but a lot of clients, they need an accountability partner to the level that someone is going to hold them accountable and ensure that they hit their goals. And I think what this program was redesigned for, to ensure that they hit their goals and that everybody is happy. So I can't wait to really release that for you guys. Like I said, if you need a virtual assistant, don't hesitate to text me. Text me at 202-503-1002. I'm still learning that number, so don't beat me up. Text me 202-503-1002. We'll take good care of you. If you want to book a call with us, go to CEO929.com and book a free strategy call to see what we can do to help you grow and take your business to the next level. Also, if you're watching the replay and you currently have questions, don't hesitate to put your questions in the comments. I will reply to every single question. And like I said, if you want to work with us on a one-on-one basis, we are revamping our programs to make it such a great experience. What I will tell you is this program, we're going to work with you, and the goal is to get you a minimum 3 deals done and closed and funded, money in your pocket. Once you get them 3 deals, you'll be invited to come out, do a podcast with me, and eat dinner with me. And tell everybody about what you did. I think 3 deals is the magic number for you to have the experience and the understanding to be able to do this on your own. So it's going to be an amazing thing. Enough about me. If you like the training and the videos that we do us a favor and like and comment on the videos. And if you want, share the videos to people you know, like, and love that may can benefit from it. And we will greatly appreciate that. I know it's a little late. I'm going to let y'all go. I will be back tomorrow with the free training. Remember, it's not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be streamed, inside of a private link. You can watch it. We'll post a replay and go from there. We're going to be giving out a lot of free information. So if you haven't closed your first deal, I definitely recommend you getting on the free training tomorrow. Is there anything else I'm missing? Yeah, if you need a VA, hit us up. We're going to be restructuring a lot of different things. And I'm thinking about doing my acquisition training that's going to be a paid training, probably sometime in August. So I'm going to get everything set up for you guys. And we're going to be going live a few more times this week. And the goal is to go live about 10 more times this month and just create a bunch of value. Other than that, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at our website, CEO929.com. Matter of fact, let me share my screen really quickly so I can show you the new website and what my team has done to upgrade it to make it a value to you in a place where you can go and get information and take your business to the next level. So give me 1 second. Screenshot. Okay. So yeah, this is the new website. If you need anything, let us know. Also, we do all types of website designs, funnel building. We do all this from scratch. So if you want to know some blog information, we have good blogs. We have everything that you need to learn. I'm going to be uploading more blogs in a few weeks. It's going to go into details of what you should be doing. We have different solutions. Most importantly, book a strategy call. Or if you know a bunch of people who may need virtual assistants and you want to make money introducing us to people who may need a virtual assistant, don't hesitate to sign up for our affiliate program where you can become an affiliate with us. Other than that, check out the website, get on our email list. Like I said, we have a bunch of different stuff. You can get my art delegation book. I written this about 2 years ago, teaching you how to delegate. It's a wonderful book. I'm actually thinking about posting on Amazon and post it really with the Audible book. So I might have to take time one day, maybe a Saturday and a Sunday, and go in the studio, rent a studio, and just record the whole audio book so you can have it. But yeah, so our delegation, we have so much other stuff that you can come on the website and participate and purchase. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. I see you tomorrow on tomorrow's training. Like I said, if you want to reach out to me directly on Instagram, follow me at CEO929, and I will answer any questions that you put into my DMs. Appreciate you. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good day.